Hello, my name is Neil Horton, product trainer here at Blum US. And today we're going to learn how to properly install and set up TIP-ON BLUMOTION for MOVENTO. For this installation, we will need a TIP-ON BLUMOTION set, TIP-ON BLUMOTION synchronization rod, and a TIP-ON BLUMOTION for MOVENTO front gap template. Within the TIP-ON BLUMOTION set box, we have a left and right TIP-ON BLUMOTION unit, a left and right trigger, and 2 synchronization rod adapters. Now we're ready to install TIP-ON BLUMOTION into our MOVENTO application. Here we have our MOVENTO runners already installed in a face frame blocked out application. So let's start our installation by installing our trigger. Triggers are handed left and right, and it's noted on the actual trigger with stamped L or R. We start by installing it into our runner, rotating to the back, and clicking it into place. We do that for both the left side and the right side. Now that we have our triggers installed, next we want to install our TIP-ON BLUMOTION units. In this particular application, we're installing our L3 standard duty TIP-ON BLUMOTION unit, noted by the medium gray color and the marked L3. We're going to pull our runner out. Our units are handed left and right. This one is noted with the L. We also have the word top because we want to be able to read this as we're installing. We want to line up the arrow here with the number 1 with this first arrow on the top of the lift of the runner. Then we slide the unit back until we hear a positive click in the cabinet. Once that's done, we can push the runner back into the cabinet. Now we move on to installing to the next. Now that we have our TIP-ON BLUMOTION units installed, we need to set the proper position to ensure that we have a 3mm activation gap. In order to do that, we need to use our TIP-ON BLUMOTION for MOVENTO front gap template. Now this front gap template has 2 sides. One side is for 5/8 or 16mm subfront thickness. The other side is for 1/2 inch or 13mm subfront thickness on your drawer box. In our application, we're using a 5/8 or 16mm subfront thickness. So we want to make sure that we're able to read that when we're looking at the front of the template. Then we reference the face of the cabinet, making sure we hold it securely on the face. And then we rotate the orange adjustment wheel on the TIP-ON BLUMOTION unit until we make contact with the template. Once we make contact with the template, we set the proper position. We do this on the other side as well. Now our TIP-ON BLUMOTION unit's position is set correctly. Now that our TIP-ON BLUMOTION units are set to the proper position, we need to install our synchronization rod. In order to do that, we need to also make sure that we cut it to the right length. We take opening width minus 10.5 inches or 267mm. We cut the rod to that length. Now that we have our synchronization rod cut to the proper length, we need to insert the synchronization rod adapters. There's one for each end of the rod. Now we're ready to install our synchronization rod. In order to do so, we have to activate our TIP-ON BLUMOTION units on both the left and right side. Pull the runner out, snap in our synchronization adapters into each unit, then we close the runners back into the cabinet. Now that we have our synchronization rod installed, we can go ahead and install our drawer box. But before we do, we want to make sure that we widen the rear notch to clear the TIP-ON BLUMOTION devices. Now that we've widened the rear notches on our drawer box, we're ready to install. We start by pulling our drawer runners out, placing our drawer box, pushing into the cabinet. We want to make sure that we have our locking devices fully engaged. Close our drawer. And now we have a functioning TIP-ON BLUMOTION application. If you have any questions about TIP-ON BLUMOTION from MOVENTO or any of our other products, please visit our website at blum.com. If there are any other videos you'd like to see in the future, please let us know in the comments below.